Paul, the first question for you is pretty simple, and that is, why are you running for Congress?
The reason I'm running is because I feel that there's a lack of adequate representation in Arkansas's 2nd Congressional delegation. I think that the special interests have pretty much run roughshod all over the people. So rather than our voices being heard, it seems that the big corporations and the special interests are the ones being heard.
Okay. Second question, also pretty simple. How has your personal experience prepared you for this office?
Well, I've taught Constitution and government for about 19 years. I got involved in campaign finance activism in 2011 after there was a Citizens United decision. It was a Supreme Court decision that was rendered that pretty much gave corporate entities the ability to spend as much money as they wanted to, and that was protected as speech under the Constitution. So that kind of infuriated me, and that's what got me ultimately involved. And since then we've run ballot question measures here in Arkansas. I had a nonprofit called the Arkansas Democracy Coalition that married a bunch of local good government groups with national good government groups. And we had a ballot question committee here called Reg Not Populous. So we've done a lot of work in that field for quite a while.
Okay. With that personal experience, what can you bring to the table that the other candidates cannot?
Well, firstly, I'm the only candidate in this race, and in a lot of races, that won't take any special interest money, no PAC money or anything like that. So I think that willingness to be completely obedient to the will of the people is rather unique. And I do have to say there are a lot of people across the country that are starting to get the point of that. There's a lot more people that are repudiating that kind of special interest money. And I think it's an idea whose time has come. And being the only person that doesn't take that money, I think puts me in a good position to kind of lead by example, if you will.
Okay. And the third question, or the fourth question rather, is about healthcare. Healthcare and health insurance are obviously some of the most divisive and debated topics that we are currently facing in our country. What are your thoughts on our current healthcare system, and what do you think it should look like in the future?
Wonderful. I think that the ACA was a step in the right direction, but now a lot of the flaws have been exposed. So what we espouse and what we propose and what we adhere to is a single-payer system. There's a piece of legislation pending in Congress now in the House, Resolution 676, which is a expanded, improved Medicare for All system. Right now, we spend about a little bit over $3 trillion in healthcare. And with a Medicare for All system, not only will everybody be covered with good health care, but it will cut that cost nearly in half.
And you can't drive through Little Rock without running across one of your billboards about PAC money.
Right.
What are the issues that you have with those PAC monies, and how do you think that application could be changed? Well,
one of the big problems I see with that is the courts have elevated non-person entities, non-human entities into a position of personhood. And I believe that when you take an inanimate object like a union or a syndicate or any kind of thing that's organized under law and incorporated, I think when you give those inanimate objects qualities of humanity, you demean humanity, which is one of the big reasons that I have a problem with that idea. So that's my big philosophical problem with it. I think that if you look at the gun issue, for example, or even we talked about the Medicare for All system a second ago, all of those things are affected by this money coming into the political system. So, for example, there is a proposal being floated around now from the more establishment side of the Democratic Party that seeks to make a new type of healthcare system, which is better than what we have now, but it still funnels a lot of taxpayer money through the insurance corporation and through big pharma. So we've not been able to quite wean ourselves off of that. And when so many politicians are so heavily reliant upon money that comes from these special interests, how can they do the will of the people? Why would we want to funnel $1.5 trillion extra for healthcare through the insurance lobby, for example?
All right.
So that harms all of us. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. Paul Spencer, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.